Welcome. Greg Nelson here with the Hard Knock State. Hey, we're continuing on with the steps of the sale. This is number 5, the write-up or the proposal. We've made it this far. We've come all the way. We started out with a power greeting that has left a memorable mark on our customer's mind about us. We went through our discovery. We found out what the wants and the needs of our customers were. We found the right product. We offered a model up. We offered a model down. We told them the price difference and how much money it's going to save them per month. We did the dynamic demo. You exploded. You touched on all the features. You brought up the advantages of those features, and then you exploded on the benefits. And that's what you want to do every single time. And not only that, when you were doing your dynamic demo, you were putting your customer in control of pushing all the buttons, turning all the levers, you playing with all the knobs, feeling the headliner, opening the stove to the door or the door to the stove. If it's a spa, maybe you got him sitting in that lounge position, even though there was no water in the stove, but it felt really comfortable to him. You painted that visual picture of what it was going to be like when the water and the jets going and massaging the back, massaging the necks, massaging the underneath of the knees. And then you got them, you did a phenomenal job. And then you walked through your service department into your showroom. Why do we want to walk through the service department? We want to have our customer not just see a one-sided dimension of our store. So even if you're selling spas and stoves, clean up your service area. If you're operating out of a 2-car garage or something that's next to an aluminum building and you have your spas and stoves set up in there, man, I would just tell you, make that part of your showroom, make that and just work clean, work very clean. And then your sales associates, when you guys walk your customers into the showroom, you go right through the service department. Okay. And then you introduce your customer to who may be servicing or maintaining their spa or stove or their car or whatever, right? Their furniture. And then that gives them a peace of mind and knows that it's just more than you trying to make a sale. It's just, we've already established that at this point, but right now what we're doing is we're solidifying that thought into the customer's mind because it's true. True sales professionals, and I've said it before, the guy down the street, he's just there to make the quick buck, and he's probably going to be there for a short period of time. Why? Because he doesn't care enough to know about his customers. He doesn't care enough to know that sales is actually a trade, and the skills that you learn will just mean the more money that you're going to make. So what does he do? He sits on his rear end, maybe sits, maybe he's smoking a cigarette out in front of the store or, chewing tobacco and spitting out in front of the store, not making a memorable impression. In fact, those type of impressions, when I see that, when I'm going into an establishment, unless if it's a farm and feed store, I'm pretty much turning away and just going to the real guy up the street, and which is you, by the way, because you're here, you're watching this. That tells me so much. You want to learn, you want to be successful in sales, and you want to lead the sales board. And so we've come this far with the steps of the sale, and now it's come down to the write-up. So find a comfortable position, and we're going to get down into these slides right here. Take some notes. So who am I? My name's Greg Nelson. I'm a sales coach, sales trainer. I'm a former automotive sales professional and sales manager. I've worked for a small independent car dealership when I really first got out. It was a husband and wife organization. They really took me under their wing, and these were quality people, and they sold a quality product. They had quality technicians. They bought from quality places, reputable places of people that were trading their cars in, and also, very, very careful when you did have to buy at the auto auction. Anyway, they taught me everything about running an independent car dealership. And after 4 years, they made me in charge. They would hitch up their trailer. They would take off for 3-4 weeks and, go explore the great United States and leave me to the demise of running the dealership. After that, cash for clunkers, our economy went down, and we didn't feel the effect of that here at the small independent dealer because we were selling getaway cars. We were selling beaters. We were selling the cars that were, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And when the administration came out with cash for clunkers, That's when our business dried up, literally just dried up. We went from seeing, I would see maybe one customer every, maybe sometimes on a Saturday, we'd see maybe five, six, 10 customers, on a weekday, maybe one or two. That went to like literally three a month. And it just killed us. Why? Because the government, they were telling people, hey, take your jalopy, take whatever it is. If it's worth $50, drive it into a car dealership. As long as it drives into the car dealership, we're going to give you 3, 4, 5 grand or something like that. And if you buy a car that got two miles better to the gallon, so the old, Cutlass Supremes and the Pontiac Grand Ams, those cars we were selling for $29.95 all day long, and all of a sudden it just dried up. I had a family to support, so I had to move on. So with that, I went on to a really nice family-owned dealership. I have nothing bad to say about this dealership. They did they're just phenomenal people there. And I learned to sell the new car product. And I got up to a certain point, needed to move on. 3 years later, I went on to the biggest and the best dealership in our whole region where we're at, and it's one of the largest. It was at the time one of the largest dealerships on the West Coast, if you're counting. I mean, think of how many car dealerships are on the West Coast. So the ratio there is pretty odd. But anyway, it was good, and it was family run, and it was top notch, all the way top notch. And so they gave us training. In fact, you guys have heard me talk about a sales trainer, our corporate sales trainer that would come in quarterly, phenomenal man. And anyway, he would train us on the steps of the sale and pretty much the store sales process of how they wanted it done. Now, what I'm covering with you is a little different because they didn't actually go into the 7 steps of the sale like I do. Okay. I actually learned the 7 steps of the sale from the husband and wife who taught me how to run their car dealership when I was like, 30 years old or 25 years old or whatever it was. Anyway, that's where I learned the steps of the sale. Now there's over the past 6 years, if you can see here, I've trained in management. I've trained hundreds of sales professionals. I'm just going to try to follow these slides so I don't ramble so much, but who have I studied and learned from? I've studied from many, as I'm saying. There's been plenty of people I've learned from and studied from, and all of them have, I should say most of them have a very special place in my heart. But there's been one man among the rest, and this one guy has the best training material on the planet with the proven results. In fact, there's 50 million users worldwide on his training platform and on-demand courses. I told you last week, if you follow me, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you don't, I uploaded a video last week, and I uploaded a video about a month ago, letting you know that it's my goal to bring you quality material, and that's what I want to do. The Hard Knock State is nothing. It's all about getting you out of the hard knock state. What is the hard knock state? That's this mental state we live in. We go along, we're doing the best we can. We keep hitting the same barriers, the same walls, and we don't know what's going on. We just can't succeed. All the people around us, they're succeeding. We're not succeeding. So getting you out of that hard knock state and getting you in to where you can succeed at sales and lead the sales board is exactly what I'm here to do. And so with that, definitely, I'm bringing you the best online training courses. I'm going to have probably a huge grand opening in a little bit here, but I just wanted to cover this steps of the sale with you. So, who is this gentleman? You've probably heard of him. He's Grant Cardone, Uncle G, right? He has been my mentor for so long. Seriously, I mean, this guy is phenomenal at what he does. He's phenomenal with people. He's phenomenal with bringing the best out of people and getting them to be successful. Okay. So with that, I've read all of his books, his audio books, attended some of his online courses. Recently, I just went down to Miami to attend a big conference in person with him. I can't say anything greater. His results are proven. Okay. And he wouldn't be where he is today, which is at the top of the world, if they didn't work, and they work. Everybody who uses his products, I mean, there's Fortune 500 companies, multiple Fortune 500 companies that use his products. But here's a little bit more about me. I was born and raised in the great Pacific Northwest. I'm a loving father of 2 kids We enjoy the outdoor activities that the great Northwest has to offer: hiking, skiing, and kayaking, just to name a few. I understood at a young age that effective communication through sales is the way that we're going to get what we want out of life. And from that, for more than 20 years, I've had an amazing career in sales. I'm still having an amazing career in sales. And over the course of the past 6 years, I've trained and coached over hundreds of salespeople, 100 sales professionals. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. Some of them love me, some of them hate me. I get it. But those who adhere to my training and my processes over the phone, how to contact, how to follow up, how to go through the steps of the sale of how the store wanted us to sell is exactly how I coach people. And knowing that we're there to solve a problem, we're there to help a customer, and that's what it's all about. Because if we're there for our own demise, it is a demise, but if we're there for our own means, okay, if you make a sale, they're probably not coming back. And in that case, those type of people also, when they feel you're out there, okay, they feel something's wrong, right? They feel you're stressed out and you need to make some money, right? The customers feel that. And so they can't put their finger on exactly what's wrong, but they know something's wrong. Okay. And so what we're doing here is we want to train you guys to be the best you can be, guys and gals out there. Okay. And with that here, it's my mission to directly help 10 million people in our great nation understand that they can get exactly what they want through sales. Okay. And with that, let's recap the previous steps, which we've already done. Sorry, I haven't been on a live stream for a while. I don't know who's watching or how many people are watching, but thank you for being here if you are. So the product selection, the dynamic demo, and now the write-up. Okay. So now we're going to find a comfortable table, comfortable desk, comfortable chairs, and sit down. Okay. You gotta be sat down. Okay. Sit your customer down. Ask them if they want a refreshment. Go the extra mile. Just like Grant says, don't just get them a bottle of water. Get them a bottle of water, get them a cup, put ice in the cup, go in front of them, open the bottle up, pour it in the glass, and serve it to them with a napkin. Or better yet, lay it all out in front of them and ask them how they want it served to them. Okay, go that extra mile. I remember multiple times, almost every time, I would not let my customer get up to get a cup of coffee or a cookie or whatever. And I would say, hey, how do you like your coffee? Which tea do you like? And I would go bring them multiple choices back. Sometimes I'd bring the entire tea basket back. I would do it all for them. And people would look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. But you know what? The customer understood that I was there to serve them and solve their needs. So if you're during the write-up, when you sit down and you've made your customer feel absolutely comfortable, and when you're generating that piece of paper, if you generate a separate piece of paper for a write-up, just like I have here, you have your write-up and then you have your proposal. We'll go through this a couple different ways. Okay. If you some stores just do a contract or a proposal with the write-up, and then it has all the details of the deal down below here. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to nail down all the pertinent information from the customer. Okay. Up until this point, we've sold with emotion. Now it's all about logic. Okay. And the details are very, very important. If you get all this information, you're going to save your customer time and you're going to save your customer money. Okay. Because time is money. So get all the pertinent information. What is pertinent information? The definition is information, structured data grouped into a coherent categories that are easily perceptible and understood. Got bad eyes, folks. What it means is we just want to gather all the information from the client, all the products, services, the service or interest in the price. Okay, client information, man, this is company specific, right? How far your company wants you to go right now with getting how much information, just go that far. But I'm going to tell you, the more information you can get, the better off you're going to be. And you're truly, by doing that one time, your customer, your client's not going to have to repeat themselves over and over and over again. Man, how many people do I got to tell my address to? Yeah, I got a mailing address and I got a PO box and a physical address, and people just don't they want to be heard once, right? I mean, I know I don't like repeating myself over and over again. If you're so look, in most cases, you want to get the legal spelling of the buyer's name. Okay, the whole legal spelling of the buyer's name as it's written on their driver's license, their birth certificate. If it's a smaller ticket item, you're probably not concerned with this too much. But anything over mailing and physical addresses, highly, highly important, especially if you're selling a product over $10,000. Okay, with that, you're gonna need and I'm talking automobiles, boats, vessels, aircraft, insurance. You're going to need the customer is going to need information to prove who they are, even if they're paying cash in today's world. Okay, the government wants to know where the flow of money is going at all times. The phone numbers. Do you have? What's the best way you can get in touch with your customer? Are you going to just get one phone number, or are you going to get a cell phone number? Go for a cell phone number. Are you going to go for the home number if people still have that? Are you going to go for the work number, their business line? Maybe they got just a standard texting number. Grab that information, grab all that information. If they're financing and the bank needs to get a hold of that customer because there's a mishap on the credit application, I mean, it happens all the time. If that happens, now your customer's got your product and the bank's not funding the deal because, something's wrong with the credit app. And now you're chasing the customer, right? And nobody wants that either. Okay. What about emails? Are you getting your emails, right? One email, two email, what's the primary email? And so something with this here, I want to tell you is these are trial closes. They're not just are we getting this information, but we are asking these questions. We're taking a temperature of our customer and finding out, exactly where they're at, right? If they say, hey, if they balk to anything that you're asking, just, hey, it's no big deal. This is a natural reaction from customers. Okay. Customers, when they sit down and they're ready to part with their hard-earned money, what they remember is the bad financial decisions they've made in the past. And that's all it is. Okay. And so with those bad financial decisions, it's coming out. They're projecting all that onto you. Okay. But don't take it personal. It's nothing you need to worry about. Nothing more than, hey, no problem. If we get this information now, and tell them, just logically tell them, hey, if we get this information now, it's going to save you time. You're not going to have to repeat yourself. And the bank, the person who's going to be holding the loan on whatever it is you're buying, you'll probably, the only time you're going to hear from them is when they want their monthly payment. Other than that, if, let's get this information now, even if you're not buying today. Okay, let's get this information for when you do buy. Okay, that way we have it. We can streamline the whole process when you come back in. Okay, and then so just remember, often your customer will balk. They're going to balk at the legal spelling of their name. They're going to balk at getting the phone numbers, right? They're going to balk at the email addresses. They're going to balk at their physical addresses. It's just what people do. It's people's right to say no, and that's pretty much our only choice. I used to tell this story to our guys all the time. Okay, I remember this was probably about 7-8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. It was cold. My daughter was growing, right? Growing like a weed, and she outgrew her winter coat. And a winter coat in the Northwest is really important. So what did I do? I walked into the store. I'm like, oh man, shoot, I'm just going to go grab a quick coat and then I'm going to be on my way. So I walked into JCPenney's, right? Ugliest coats ever, right? I wouldn't even wish anybody to wear those coats. So I go, you know what? My daughter, her age, she probably likes something at one of those hipster stores. So I walked down and walked into one. The lady who was working there, she goes, hi, what can I help you find? Guess what I said? Nothing. And I walked right over to the coats, grabbed a coat, walked right up to the cash register and bought it. But you know what was funny is as I was leaving the store, I said goodbye to the lady. She was really nice. She had a smile on her face. And when I said nothing and just beelined right to the coat, she didn't take offense to it. And I started to think, I go, why did I not engage with that clerk? What did I, I wasn't in a bad mood. I was in a good mood when I walked in the store and she made me feel even better. So why did I say no? And this shit, and I just, you know what? It's just a knee jerk reaction. It's our right to say no. And we want to say no. We want to tell people no. Why? Because it gives us authority, right? And so with that, take when your customers balk, these aren't real objections. They're just projecting the bad financial decisions they've made in the past. And that's all it is. And just have that in your mind that it's nothing more than that. Folks, it's okay. I completely understand. Look, if we get this information now, you won't have to nobody's going to have to ask for it again. It's going to save you time. It's going to streamline the whole process. And I just want this to be a pleasant experience for you and your family. What was your phone number again? In your work? Okay. And emails? Okay. And if you're writing them down, most people are using iPads, or not most, but a lot of people are using iPads and computers these days. Here's another, I'm just going to tell you this other little trick. Okay. And so I'm going to come back here. Let's see. Anyway, maybe I didn't write it down. So if you're looking at the computer screen while you're asking the information, or you're on the iPad, or you're physically writing with a piece of paper and a pen, look at the line of where you're writing. Put the pen to the paper and look at it. And if you're on the computer, put your hands on the keyboard and look at the screen. Okay. And if you're on the iPad, do the same thing. Hold the iPad up with your little stylus and then just ask them phone number, cell phone number, work phone number. Don't look at them. Just just write it, type it, do whatever. The minute you make eye contact is when your customer is going to, at this point, if they are going to balk, they're going to do it when you make eye contact. But if you're just doing this, guess what? They think that's just business as normal. There's nothing, you're just waiting for them to give you the information because you're just waiting. And you're listening and they're going to start telling you. And if they don't tell you, they're going to stop, they're going to hesitate, and then they're going to tell you. Because they just think you're not going any further until they tell you that information. Now, just keep this in mind, 80% of the time, right? Don't fight your customer too hard on information. The whole point of what we're trying to do here is 100% write-up. We want to get a proposal to every customer who walks into our store, our establishment, whatever it is, onto our car lot. We want to get a pricing proposal in front of every customer, whether they're ready to make a decision or not. If you really want to increase your sales, I'm just going to tell you, there's a lot of people holding on to some really old school tactics, hide, evade, everything. Man, don't be worried, man. I'm just telling you, if the customer ain't buying today, and they ask for a copy of your pricing, give them a copy of your pricing. You've got nothing to be scared about, right? Look at you. You're already, if you're here watching this, you're already better than probably 75% of the sales people out there, and I truly believe that. So don't be afraid. Okay. And look, if they're at least get a phone number or email or something from them before they do bolt, hey, folks, that's no problem. They're just, what they're doing again, is they're projecting that bad financial decision, and it's scaring the daylight out of them. So what they want to do is they want to leave that scene as fast as possible. But if you can slow them down and just, let them buy now, if you've done all these steps right, your customer shouldn't be fighting you or balking at all. Price, how much is it? You got to put that down on the paper, right? And then it may be a good idea to ask your customer at this point in time, if you're doing a separate proposal, a write-up and a proposal on two different sheets of paper, you're probably you're going to fill this out. You're going to take this to your sales manager, or you're going to go back to your office or your computer or whatever, and then you're going to print out your proposal. So if you're doing two, it's probably in the notes. You see, I got this section that says notes/special requests. I know this camera's not the best. I actually just bought a really nice 1080 cam for the stream, and it's not jive with my computer. But put down below how they want to pay for it, and then make sure, hey, it may be a good idea, okay, to go through and just, if there's, just go through and just ask them again, go through the important things on that product of what's important to that customer. Okay. And so blah, 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 blah. It's got this, you wanted this, you wanted that. Right. Yeah. Okay. And how did you want to pay for it? You can ask them that, if, or if you don't want, I mean, you could figure it out here, because your proposal, if it's done correctly, it's going to have all the different ways, multiple options on how your customer can buy that product. And you're going to break it down to where it's a no-brainer, right? The magic of multiple options, right? Just the same when we're demonstrating our product and we're landing our customer on the product that is truly going to solve their needs. You want to do the same thing here, if you've done your job and your customer loves you and you've done everything right, you're completely transparent, then it gets to the numbers and you're not transparent, there's something wrong there. There's really, look, if you're a transparent guy and you're working at a non-transparent store, outfit, whatever, man, you're going to be more successful if you go find a place that's transparent, because there's more places today that are 100% transparent than there's not. And look, any online buying service you go to, 100% transparency, 100, and they'll just tell you, even if you've got a car and you have a trade-in, they spell it out for you. Hey, look, we're basing it off of this book value. However, it's an estimate and it's going to adjust based off the condition of your vehicle once we see it. So put it down there. Okay. Now go take your right up to your sales manager or do whatever. And then if your sales manager is printing out the proposal for you, go sit with your customer, make sure they're comfortable, and talk about them, talk about what they love to do. Get their mind off this. People stress out when it comes to money. Okay. And we don't need to make this a stressful situation for our customers. That's the last thing. You start talking to them, in between, maybe go through and tell them what you offer. In addition to everything else, tell them how long you've been in business, maybe go over some testimonials with the customer and tell them why they should buy from you. Okay. Come back now, you go up, maybe a chat for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and you go back up and you get your proposal and you come bring it out. Okay. And then you just casually, there's nothing to stress out about this here. Right. People freak out. Sales associates, they really get nervous when it comes to this. And I'm telling you, you guys don't think you could close your own deals. Oh, buddy, some of you are going to be some of the best closers out there. Okay. If you're in a liner closer store and your manager's coming out and closing your deals, I'm telling you what, that could be a good thing if you're high volume, right? But if you're not high volume and close your own deals, just tell your boss, hey, I want to go out and swing the bat. Can I do that, please? I've built the rapport with these customers. I know exactly what they're looking for. You say it like that, they're going to be like, go get them, Tiger. You kidding me? Go get them. And then they're going to give you this. So then you just sit down, you turn it towards your customer, and you take your pen and you point. Okay, so here's the price of the vehicle, or price of the spa, the AB's, the 7-jet or 8-jet spa. You got your tax. We got delivery of $500. Total is $11,500. Maybe your proposal's got boxes that you check, right? And this is the check the box proposal. So you got the Visa, MasterCard, Amex, cash, right? How you want to pay for it? Or do you want to go into 36-month financing? 0 down, you're $320 a month, $2,500 down, you're $250, $5,000, you're $181. What, I don't know. Maybe you lease. I've never sold spas and stoves, but maybe there's a way you could lease that to where they're turning their spa in before the engine breaks or the jets go out on it after 2 years. And maybe $1,500 down, it's $199 a month. I'm sure you could find a way to do that and then sell a certified spa, and all that includes the delivery. Check the box. That's all you got to do. Folks, check the box. Which one works best for you? Have them check the box, and then great. I've already got your information. Hey, let's do this. Let's go meet some of the other people that you're going to come in contact with in the parts department or in the service department. And let's have, just so you know who to talk to, who the right person to come in and see for whatever it is you need to repair or add on to your your spar stove? Because I remember you said you wanted the little floating table in the middle and maybe the basketball hoop, right? So back to the slides here, and I'm sorry, I love slides. I know a lot of people don't like slides, but it keeps me on track. If they're paying if they're financing it or they're paying cash and it's over $10,000, you're probably going to need a 5-liner. So why a 5-liner? Okay, so OFAC, right? And this is just so the government, they just want to track where that money's going after 9/11. Anybody who sells a large ticket item knows this, and it's required. Okay, the customer doesn't. Okay, the customer has no idea. They think they're walking in with green bills that they're just going to walk out with that product. Okay, in today's world, a lot of times these organizations have to report that place of the money or where that money's coming from. So what's a 5-liner? Okay, a 5-liner is the name, the address, the phone number, the email. Okay. And then that's it. And then you just run it through the system. Right. But you got to tell them, today's world, if you're fully transparent, you got to tell them what you're doing, and they're, because look, they're going to make the deal. They're going to go in the sign the paperwork, all the legal forms. Maybe your proposal has that already just written down below in small print, hey, with this, if it's we have to run your information with the U.S. government. And that's all you got. That's all it really is. It's nothing bad. In fact, it's there to protect them. So how many are they buying? It's smaller ticket items. You're probably not worrying about cash, or you're worrying about cash and credit card. You're not worrying about financing and leasing. Customers who finance are concerned with the payment. So this is a pro sales tip for everybody. Okay. Excuse me. Your customers, when they come in, right? If they bring up financing, if they bring up, hey, do you guys offer any kind of financing and all that kind of stuff, they're concerned with making a monthly payment fit into their budget. Okay. And so with that, again, we're going to go back to these options. You want to focus on the payments. Okay. With this, you don't get off the total of the price and everything else. If your customer's here, and that right up front, just say, hey, here's your finance. Just go, okay, here's the price. Here's your financing options. No need to go into all the details of everything else, because they're not concerned with it. And it's just gonna kill time, man. I'm just gonna waste more time. And again, your customer wants to streamline the process. They want to get in and get out. So 0 down, 2,500 down, 5,000 down, lease 24 months with 1,500 down for $199. Something there. Look at that. I mean, something there is going to work for their budget, right? Who wouldn't want a 7-jet stove, delivered, with 1,500 down for $199, and this weekend they're in, their whole family's sitting in the backyard barbecuing and hopping in the hot tub. So with that, making a product affordable, okay. That's not discounting the price. Okay. And the people get this mixed up so much. They go, hey, let's just see if we could bring this down for you a little bit. Okay. When you're doing that, just know you're discounting yourself, and you're discounting your value. You've discounted the dynamic demonstration. You've discounted your power greeting. You've discounted everything. You've discounted the value of the store. You've discounted the value of the product. You've discounted everything when you discount the price. The price is there, okay? When you walk into a supermarket, you don't negotiate on a can of peas. Okay, they'll tell you, get the heck out, right? There's very few places are doing a lot of this negotiation back and forth. And if you do have to go to price, man, that is your last resort. That is the last thing. If your customer's getting up and you've made them copies and they're walking out the door, maybe then you ask them, hey, man, what if I could just save you a couple $100, because that way, if you start going into negotiations right off the bat, right in the write-up, or even on the lot or in the showroom floor or in the your client's house, if you go into all that numbers, they're not worried about. You've taken everything off of what we're practicing here. Okay. You've taken all the focus off of caring for the customer and helping the customer to try to find them the real product that's going to solve their problems. And so we don't want to get into that, right? A lot of these places, they got price tags sitting on the windows. They got price tags hanging on the stove. They see, the price tag. There's a big price tag hanging on the spa. They see those price tags. They already know what it is. You don't need to make a bigger deal out of it than what it is. And the customer honestly wouldn't be looking at that product if they didn't think they could afford it or make it work in their budget. Okay, people who have a $5,000 budget and a $75 a month for a 5-year budget that they could fit in, they're not going and looking at $30,000-$40,000 ticket items trying to get that product to fit in. Now, I will back up, because occasionally in car dealerships we got that quite often, not quite often, but we got that. And so discounting the price, let's just hold, if we hold that to our fail safe, the very, very end, if we have to. Are you interested in learning to sell? And so that's pretty much the write up there in your proposal, because the next step is we're going to get in next week. We're going to get into the closing, and then there's one more. That's step number 6, and then number 7 is the follow up. Okay, and those two, the next two, they're going to be a lot of fun. But I just want, if you're watching this, you're either in sales or you're interested in sales. If you're thinking about sales, are you worried that you're not going to make money? If you're not going to be able to hit the ground running and be a success from day one. I got to tell you, sales is a trade. Okay, just like being a plumber, framer, an electrician, lawyer, doctor. Funny story. When I worked construction, one of my best friends, he's back then I got him into construction. He's still in it today, and I know that if he could go past, I don't know what it is. If he can get past, I think his fear of getting out of doing that for so long, and I'm working on him, but if he can get past that, I know he's going to be a double six figure salesperson without a shadow of a doubt. But, you got to, sometimes these things, people think about making career changes, sometimes even up to a couple years before they actually do. Grant talks about, when a customer or when your employee quits their job, do they just one day just get up and quit? No, man, they've been thinking about it for 3 months, right? They've been thinking about it for 6 months. They're building, they just finally built up the courage to just do it, but anyway, don't worry. I mean, hey, look, it's your life too, and you deserve a lifestyle change. Okay. So look, if you're 30, 40 years old, if you're 25, you're stuck, you're lost in life, and you're swinging a hammer, you're pushing a wheelbarrow, you're operating a cement rig or whatever, and you're just done. Maybe you're sick of walking in the mud and carrying lumber on your shoulders, and you just really want to for change. You're exchanging your time for dollars, right? You're getting paid by the hour to do that, or you're getting paid piece rate to do that. Man, I'm just telling you, man, it's a comfortable life in sales. It really is. Where we look sharp, we get to dress nice. Okay. We get to talk to people, interact with people all day long. And that's what we do. We interact with people. They come see us because they have a problem that they need to be solved. And they're looking for a professional, and they're hoping that you can solve their needs. Okay. Remember, it's your life too. And you truly deserve the best. Okay. Visit thehardknockstate.com. Okay. Weekly group coaching. Okay, you can sign up for a week, a month, 2 months, or as long as you need to ensure that your success as a sales professional is there. Okay. Again, I've coached over hundreds of sales professionals, and I've seen people go from taking people from just scraping by to, 6 figures in a very short period of time. And I could do it for you as well. Okay. But the catch is I'm only looking for those who actually want to change their lifestyle. Because if you're happy where you're at, if you're happy just selling your quota, if you're happy just getting by and selling the minimum, I got to tell you, that's probably not the right way to go about it. So private one-on-one coaching is available. However, there's a prerequisite. I want to get to know you a little bit before we do the private one-on-one coaching. And so therefore, 1 week, at least 1 week of, and that's just one day, 1 hour, coming to the group coaching. Maybe we could chat a little bit and see if your problem could be solved with group coaching, or if you need to spend the extra money to go to VIP one-on-one coaching. Chances are you probably don't need to spend the extra money. We could just work it out with group coaching, because we're going to cover everything. We're going to cover going over objections. We're going to cover phones. We're going to cover follow-up. We're going to cover how to properly type out and formulate an email to send to your customer, right? What words to say, what not to say, all these little things that I've learned over the past 20 plus years. Okay. We're going to give you all that knowledge. Okay. And not only that, but because there's these walls and these barriers that you keep running into, maybe the steps of the sale. Maybe you've dove into the steps of the sale so deep and so hard, that but you just can't figure it out, man. You're putting in the extra hours. It's almost like you're working bell to bell, 7 days a week, and you're just not making it. Well, there's something going on between there, right? In your head that we need, and we can work it out. You'll find it, and I could help you find out what it is, help you eliminate it, get past, break through that wall, okay, and get on to start selling like you should be selling, and it's a lot easier than you think. So for more information about online coaching, Grant Cardone, his Cardone University, the Cardone Training Technology Institute, phenomenal. 50 million users worldwide. Multiple Fortune 500 companies put their people on this, and that's the reason why they're Fortune 500 companies, and they're not going backwards. They're just selling more. Okay. Who is this guy? Well, if you don't know Grant, he's the star of a Discovery TV show. Best-selling author. He's on all. I mean, you just watch TV, you're going to see him. If you watch the news, you're going to see him come up from time to time. The guy is a real estate investor. I mean, massive real estate investor. Okay. But it's all through sales. Okay. And that's how he started. Grant started if you don't know him, he started as an automotive sales professional. Okay. And he didn't get the training in the store, just like you're not getting the training in the store. Just like when I started out, well, I did get training, but most people do not. Okay. And, but anyway, if you're in a store that's got minimal training just to get you up to sell a quota, because quite honestly, the level of, what your store pays for, a lot of times that owner is just looking at the bottom line. Hey, where do I need to be comfortable? And that's where I'm going to set the bar at. So that's the budget I'm going to allow for training. Okay. Training should not, your training to become a true sales professional and just to master the sales game, your training, you got to take it on your own. Okay. You got to come home and study after work. You got to come home and study. What I love about Cardone University, I'm just going to tell you here, not only is it the number one sales training platform. Okay. You can read through these slides, but these are delivered in bite-sized chunks. Okay. So the on-demand and the Cardone University, you go in right first thing in the morning, you watch 2 or 3 of these videos. Okay. These training modules, and they cover everything. You'll go through, to get through the entire Cardone University every single day. Gosh, I think you'd have by now, and they just keep adding to it. And with the newer, newest updated information about selling, closing, overcoming objections, real estate, marketing, all the time, they just keep adding and adding and adding to it. And with that, you're probably, to go through the entire thing is probably going to take you, 2 years if you did 2 or 3 modules 7 days a week. That's how powerful this thing is. I mean, you got to be kidding. Anything you want to know about sales and know how to do it the right way to where your customer is going to come back, they're going to refer their friends and family, man, it's this training platform. I could not duplicate this training platform myself and bring it to you as quality and as professional as what Grant Cardone does. And I told you, I'm going to bring you the best training platform out there, and I'm delivering on that promise. Okay. So if you can read that slide, I mean, isn't that powerful? So, companies who invest, if you're a company and you want to get your team on this, and it's cheaper than you think. It works. It's proven to work. Like I said, it's just all the accountability. We have an accountability team that will hold your sales people accountable. The back end of this Cardone University for companies, I'm just going to tell you, it's off the charts with stats, records. You can see who's logging on. You could see who's not logging on. And I'll tell you, uh, uh, personally, I know this. 100%. It is 100% mandatory for every single person who works for Grant Cardone to do 2 or 3 training modules per day through Cardone University. And they, just like anything else, just like if you don't punch in, it's real-time reporting. If you don't clock in at your job, right, your boss is going to talk to you because you get paid by the hour, right? Whether you're going to a job site, you got to clock in. If you have a route, you got to clock in when you start your route. If you whatever you got to, and you don't clock in, they're going to talk to you once, right? Second time, you're going to get you got your verbal warning. What's the next step? It's a written warning. What's the third step? Okay, thank you very much. Your services are no longer needed. Okay, so if you're a company and you're looking to get sales training for your people, man, reach out to me. thehardknockstate.com. There's also the link in the description below. I'm telling you, get them trained the right way. Have your people hit the ground running, because when your sales associates and your sales professionals, do you want to call them sales associates or do you want to call them sales professionals? Okay. If I'm an owner, I'm a business owner. I've owned multiple businesses throughout my life. I'll tell you what, I've only wanted the people who worked for me. I've only wanted the best for them, and I'm sure you want the best for your people too, right? Treat them like sales professionals and get them the right training, and get yourself some training too. Get on board with it. Okay. Get on the same page. Once you guys get on this, I'm going to tell you, I literally I think it's like in less than 60 days or in 90 days, your revenue, if everybody's on the same page, will increase to over 30% just within a short period of time. And you need real training right now to combat this economy. If you're in automotive or anything that has to do with a microchip, you're not selling new cars. It's all about the used car right now. Other than that, you're just taking an order, and that doesn't pay you for today. That's going to pay you 6 months, 8 months down the road. Okay. But how do you go not be an order taker and actually go professionally help your customer and find them a good quality pre-owned vehicle, certified pre-owned vehicle, maybe that they can drive home today, right? If anything else right now that has to do with a semiconductor microchip, I'm telling you, the pre-owned market of that segment is through the roof right now. And that's where the sales are at. And you need to jump on. You need to learn. If you're a sales professional, you need to learn how to maximize your customer's time when they walk in the door to find the right product for them, the one that's going to solve their needs. You're going to save them time and you're going to save them money. Okay. When you do this the right way and you learn from these courses, and maybe you want to do the group coaching, when you do this, I'll tell you what, you're going to sell more, you're going to sell consistently, and you're going to earn more on each paycheck. And you know what? With that, you're you're going to change your lifestyle, plain and simple. Your lifestyle is going to change, and for the better. Okay. And that's what we all want. Remember, I want to show 10 million people how they can be successful and get whatever they want through life through sales. That is my mission. Whether it was, I got to tell you, I think, whether it was divinely given to me or not, whether you believe in anything or not, I'm just going to tell you, it's my goal. It's my mission. Okay. And that's all, that's as far as we need to go with it. And I'm telling you, you can do this. Okay. If you're watching this right now and you're wondering, hey man, am I going to be good? I don't know. Shoot, Uncle Frank, he tried that once. Remember? They repoed his car after that. He couldn't, I remember he was always asking us for extra money and trying to get our milk money and stuff. Well, this training wasn't around for Uncle Frank. I just got to be honest with you. And if Uncle Frank had this training, you'd be asking him for money. In fact, you'd be, hey, Uncle Frank, can I just move in with you, please? I like a pool in my backyard, right? I like nice cars and nice clothes, right? I like, taking care of people less fortunate. Okay. And if you want to do all that, man, hop on board. We're here to help and we're happy to help. Hit the links down below. And I tell you what, thank you very much for watching. This is the Hard Knock State. And these are my online training courses that you can take advantage of. I got to tell you, they're very, very affordable. They are so affordable. Okay. Not only are they're affordable, but they are worth way more than the price you'll ever pay for them. Just hit the links down below and we'll see you soon.